Yeah, but so anyway, I get this couples massage
Oh, yeah.
with Emily yesterday.
Yeah.
We go to this place. They put us in a room. They say, dress down to your comfort level. So
You get completely naked.
We both, she leaves all her clothes on. I get butt naked. And no, I got my underwear on. She's got her underwear on.
Did she have the bra on?
Well, I prefer not to say. That's my girlfriend you're talking about. And just put it this way, it may or may definitely have not been on.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, but we lay down. In walks a lady and a guy.
Oh.
Without even a second of hesitation.
Yeah.
The lady goes to me and the guy goes to her.
Sure.
Now, I don't like a guy touching my girlfriend. So I freak out. No, just kidding. No, just kidding. Fine. They had amazing chemistry.
But actually, it's pretty hot. So
she has a really nice massage.
Yeah.
This guy is, obviously really attracted to her, and he's massaging her caressingly. Whereas the lady who's massaging me beats me to within an inch of my life. Now, I'll say this. I haven't had a massage or anything for 5 years.
Yeah.
2018. And all my tension and stress and problems I put in my neck and my back.
Like Elon Musk.
Yeah, not as bad as him. I get to sleep more than 3 hours a night. But no, so I've got knots out of my ass back here.
Right.
I've got 2 breakups, a dead dad, a move. A move across the country, a job loss.
5
Each one of those
years.
is a knot.
Yeah,
it's a knot right there. So she's going hard into my back. Mm-hmm. She's like elbowing it and some of it's like, oh, this is really working out. But then she just starts grinding on my left upper thing, and I'm a gasp. I'm like, ah. Yeah. And it's it fucking hurts so bad, painful, terrible, painful. But I'm thinking maybe this is the kind of pain where it's painful now,
but it alleviates.
And then I'll be feel like a new man after. So that's what I'm thinking the whole time. And we did the massage, pretty painful. Emily's not gasping. She's having great. She's gasping, but it's more like an orgasm. And my face is down,
of pleasure. Yeah.
I hear a lot of just weird sounds coming from over there.
Yeah, sounds you've never heard before.
Yeah, sounds I've definitely never heard before. And a lot of kind of wet smacking sounds. And anyway. And then after most of the massage, they do the oil, and they do the hot oil, and that's really nice. But then they bring in these hot stones.
Hot stone massage.
And the stones she brought in were scalding hot.
Yeah.
I mean, she puts it on my back, and I immediately flail in pain.
Yeah, lava.
And then she giggles, hee, whoops.
Yeah.
And I mean, she lets them cool down for a minute.
Yeah.
And this morning, she's looking at my back, and I got a brown streak on my upper back.
A burn mark.
A burn mark. Jeez. I got a 3rd-degree burn, and on my left side, where she was doing work with her elbow, I've clearly pulled the muscle.
Oh, no.
So I paid $55. They pulled the muscle and burned me.
Wow.
This is supposed to be something to relax you and alleviate stress.
Yeah. Now, I've never had a massage, Joe. My 28
You've never had a massage?
years of life? No.
I guess I never had one until I was your age, but I had a back issue, so I went in.
Yeah. But
they're great in theory. This is the only.
But you didn't go to some massages. They beat you like a Turkish bathhouse. That's part of the charm. You go there, you get beat with leaves and shit.
No, that would have been nice.
This is not that.
This was just a run of the mill.
You thought you were just gonna have a nice little massage.
I was gonna have a nice little massage.
Now this was an Asian lady.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Generally speaking, they're the best in the biz.
They are they are. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Now, but did Emily get an Asian guy?
No. So she had, I think it was a white guy. Wow. And I had an older Asian lady, but I think she was trying to hurt me. I think she just didn't like me.
She saw the news.
Also, I didn't appreciate this either.
Yeah.
At one point, they have a towel over your back, and they're kind of massaging you first, and they pull the towel down, and then they pull your boxers or your underwear down a little bit, kind of halfway over your ass cheek.
Yeah.
And she did that, and then she giggled.
Whoa, really?
My ass cheek was exposed. She goes, hee.
Oh, really?
And I
don't
go,
like that.
I go, hey, come on. I know it's a hilarious pair of ass cheeks.
Yeah.
But
a lot of hair back there?
No, but they're just like cartoonish little bubbles back there.
Yeah.
So she laughed at me, and then she decided to torture me.
That doesn't sound like a very fun experience, Joe. You're in pain, and you also got shamed.
I got shamed, and I got fucking burned.
Yeah,
Which is the most shocking part of the whole thing.
a hot stone massage.
Hot stone burned to a fucking inch of my life. Don't get a massage. If you're listening to this podcast and you're stressed out and you're filled with anxiety, it's best to just hold it in, keep it in your back, maybe drink or do some sort of drug, and yeah, maybe have like a video game that you blow off some steam. Yeah, but definitely don't get a massage because this is a dangerous thing.
No, not at least not the one you described. I don't see myself getting a massage. You know what I've wanted to do is that ear where they put a candle in your ear.
I want to do that too.
And you
it looks fucked up.
The wax.
I want them to pull my whole fucking brain out.
Oh yeah, give me a fucking lobotomy.
Yeah,
I'm done. I'm done.
That shit looks heinous though, in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does look cool. I've always wanted to do it. My dad did it one time. He said it was a life-changing experience. But he also cleaned he cleans his ears with bobby pins. So,
what?
Yeah.
Well, you're not supposed to use the Q-tip.
No, but I don't think they also recommend probably not using a bobby pin.
Well, they tell us after 100 years you can't use the Q-tip anymore. It's the most dangerous thing. It's the most dangerous thing you could possibly put in your body. Yeah. And then you go, okay, what should I use to clean my ears? And they go, we don't know. You're shit out of luck.
The science just isn't there yet.
We have no idea.
We have to unfreeze and worm.
Well, you actually have to go get a $75 procedure where they'd use a candle and melt the earwax out of your ear. Yeah, so anyway.
Yeah, so anyway. If this is your first time tuning in to the podcast, this is Echo Chamber with Joe and Trent. The only podcast where two comedians, that is you and I, read the Wall Street Journal because one of us gets it for free at work, and we'll never tell.
We'll never tell which one it is.
One
of us walks home every day with a fresh copy of the Wall Street Journal and puts it on under one of our beds. And then we carve up our favorite articles from the Wall Street Journal, and we read them here on this podcast, and we riff about them, we talk about them, and they're all, I should say, relatively light, pretty digestible fluff pieces. We are not going to be tackling the Israel-Palestine conflict.
No.
Or any other major global conflict. We're going to be talking about the little conflicts that we might see in each of our lives every day.
Yep.
Here in the safest country on the planet.
The good old US of A.
Yeah. My favorite country. I feel safe saying that.
Yeah. Some people may think that's a strong stance, but I don't. I think it's my favorite country.
I think it's actually privileged of them to say that that's a hot take.
And I think so
they
as well.
They should check their privilege.
Anyway, you want to give us let's do a rundown of the stories we'll be covering today.
A little sneak preview on what we're going to be talking about today. On my side, we are going to be talking about Gen Z ruining rock concerts.
Oh.
Well, I shouldn't say ruining, but taking all of the excitement out of them.
Well,
to me, it's ruining.
Sure. Then I believe it. I don't need to hear any details.
Yeah, we won't even go into it.
Well, we'll also be covering naughty White House pets.
Oh, man, I've heard tell. I've heard tell of that crazy dog out there. We're also going to be hearing about, this is probably about the edgiest kind of story we get, but this is a secret deal to put a real rifle into a video game.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this one's...
That doesn't sound like a good idea one bit.
No, not really. It's a wild story.
Well, speaking of rifles and video games and bloodshed, we'll also be having... The military has a conundrum with weight.
Well, I've got the perfect pill for them. Conundrum with weight.
Yes.
Strange.
And Americans... They just keep on spending. And our final story.
That's hilarious. Well, it sounds like you got three. Do you want to kick us off?
I'll kick us off. It's kind of a lighthearted story about... this is from the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, okay. The Wall Street Journal.
Dateline, Washington.
Oh, Dateline, Washington.
D.C., our nation's capital.
Oh, okay. Not to be confused with Washington
State. The finest nation
State.
in the world.
Country that's done more right than wrong.
And there's no...
It's close, but
Yeah.
it's close.
Joe Biden, president.
Not Hunter.
No.
Okay.
No, not Hunter.
Both patriots?
Yes.
We're not really this nationalistic. This is all just a bit.
No, but what if we're nationalistic, but we were pro-Biden? You don't see a lot of those guys.
You don't. Yeah. You don't see people who are like have like an American flag in the background.
Yeah.
And are very pro like USA.
Yeah.
But Democrats too.
USA. Hunter did nothing wrong. You don't see a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Biden's dog joins list of naughty White House pets.
Yeah, so I've heard that the dog is like this like vicious. His name is Commander, and it assaults Secret Service guys and
It
stuff.
bites. Yes, there's a spate of biting.
And those guys, you think they're so trigger happy. If anyone comes at them, they're used to pulling the trigger.
You'd think they'd gun them down. Yes.
Yeah, but not this one.
Not these. They're well trained. Not the Secret Service is well trained. The dogs, not so much.
Well,
But this is actually. We'll get into it. Let me just read first here. It's a short trip from the White House to the doghouse.
great writing at the Wall Street Journal.
Yes, Commander, the latest presidential pet to make headlines for biting behavior, is following in the paw prints of many four-legged dwellers banished from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Banished.
Yes, he's banished.
No, they got rid of him.
No, well, they didn't. He's no longer welcome in the White House.
Well, so he's not Biden's dog anymore.
No, he's Biden's dog.
They sent him abroad.
Yeah, well, not abroad, but he's still in the country, the greatest country in the world, the United States. He's not banished to France. He's not an
But he's
expatriate.
taking a leave somewhere.
Yeah, he's taking a leave. The 2-year-old German Shepherd with a history of nipping Secret Service agents is, quote, not presently on the White House campus. The White House said Thursday the Secret Service doesn't have a complete tally of incidents. An agency representative said Commander was removed while the family evaluates next steps. The Biden's other dog, Major, also a German Shepherd, was sent to Delaware in 2021 for biting issues of his own.
Oh my God.
So both Biden dogs, are biters.
Well,
Well, it makes sense when they're members of the Biden crime family.
Well, you know what my parents told me when we begged for a dog as a kid?
Yeah.
Said, we'll get you a dog, but you've got to train it.
Yeah.
You've got to look after it. You've got to make sure it's well behaved.
Yeah.
And I think that rule should apply to anyone, even if you're a newly elected president of the United States at 78 years old. Train your dog, Joe. Sleepy Joe. Train your fucking German Shepherds.
Yeah. It's both dogs. Isn't that wild?
Also, why does every president feel the need to buy a new dog when they become the president?
Sort of a tradition.
No one's asking for this.
Nobody wants it.
No, they're all
We just
problems.
Yeah, it's all trouble. We just want you to do the job. We
Just
don't
do
need
the
to-
damn job.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Living at that house, if you're not the president, you're like the worst person ever, because every child of every president, every dog of every president, they all think they can just march all over everybody, do whatever they want.
Every intern.
Every intern, they're blowing everybody.
It all leads to trouble. The White House.
That's why it should just be Joe Biden and no one else in that building. He's just doing his job.
He's just doddering around.
It's a one-man job.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody else
No,
there.
you don't. Yeah. I agree, Joe. But for all the joy presidential pets have brought to White House families, they have also created their share of drama.
Oh.
During Theodore Roosevelt's presidency from 1901 to 1909,
Commonly referred to Teddy.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, as a nickname.
The kids may know him as Robin Williams from the Night at the Museum series.
For younger listeners.
The White House, Teddy Roosevelt's White House was home to 6 children and a menagerie of pets, including a hyena, a lion cub, and a badger that, according to the president's son, never bit faces, only legs.
Seems like a weird way to say he bit legs.
Yeah. Well, it's fine. He didn't bite faces, just legs. A badger.
Who wants a hyena for a pet?
Who wants a hyena? Who wants a? Who wants a hyena? They're always laughing at you.
Yeah, they're always laughing. They're always doing Scar's bidding.
It's all you can't. It's like walking by a group of teenagers. You think they may not be laughing at you, but it always feels like they're
I
laughing.
sometimes refer to teenagers as hyenas. Because to me, it's the same thing.
A pack of hyenas. Teddy also had a dog, Pete, which killed 4 squirrels.
Oh, God, I really thought you were about to say people.
Distressing the family. Well, why is that distressing?
That's not distressing. A dog is supposed to kill squirrels.
Yeah. Also, Teddy Roosevelt, notorious for killing wild beasts.
Yeah.
I can't imagine he was like, oh my God, he's killed a squirrel. This sick animal. Fucking guy killed bears and sea lions.
What kind of example are you setting when you go and shoot a rhino in the face in North Africa and
come back with his fuking tusk?
Mr. President, Pete has killed a squirrel.
It's the big one.
Hold on. Hold my rhino head.
I have to go beat my fucking dog. Yeah, so Pete also chased down a French ambassador and tore the man's pants.
Well, that's fair.
That earned him a trip to a Virginia farm for retraining. At least that's what they told the kids.
Let's put it this way. I think Teddy added one to the collection.
Yeah, but then he also, when Pete returned after retraining, he chased down a naval officer.
Jesus.
That got him permanently decamped to the family estate at Sagamore Hill in New York.
Sounds like this dog was working for a different country. running down all our allies.
Yeah. Or the power.
Probably part of the KGB.
Yeah, the power of being the first dog went to his head.
The K9 KGB.
The K9 KGB. Well, yeah. So with great power comes great responsibility, and some dogs can't handle it.
Yeah. Say that again. Who else we got?
Well, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Well, this seems to be a Roosevelt family issue at this point.
Now, FDR, remind me, you're a bit of a history
I know all about
buff.
the Roosevelts.
How are they related?
They are distant cousins.
Distant cousins.
Yeah.
FDR...
Maybe not that distant. Maybe
notorious for being in a wheelchair.
If there's any takeaway that you could have from his life and his presidency, it would be that he was notorious for being in a wheelchair. Well hidden from the news.
It was well hidden.
Well hidden.
There's a very funny movie called FDR American Badass.
Really? I've never heard of that.
It's kind of a comedy film. And it's making fun of Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, that movie and stuff.
Okay, got it.
But I recommend it.
Nice.
Anyway, that's one of Mabry's movie.
Mabry's movies must-sees, which is a new segment on the show. And to be sure, a mainstay. There's going to be a lot more where that came from.
Anyway, FDR had other pets who weren't as well behaved.
Like that dog Eleanor.
That filthy fucking trunk. Anyway, one of them was also a German Shepherd, coincidentally named Major.
Well, see, I mean, stop it.
Major is not a good dog name. It's too powerful.
Yeah, look at how mean German Shepherds are vicious monsters.
But they're good protectors of their owners.
Yeah, they're good boys.
Yeah. The FDR's Major tore the British Prime Minister's pants while trying to bite him.
Winston Churchill?
Could be. You'd think if it was Winston Churchill, they'd mention that. But it
was probably the guy before him, that idiot who
nobody
waved the piece of paper he thought would save the world.
Yeah. Another Roosevelt dog, this one belonging to his wife, chomped a reporter on the nose during a White House press briefing. Dwight Eisenhower had a Weimaraner that got sent to the family farm in Gettysburg after urinating on a rug.
My God, they sent him to Gettysburg.
He urinated on a rug.
To the Alamo.
He urinated on a rug with 20 $20,000.
In the 50s, $20,000 is like all of the money there is today.
Yeah. So
now, is that 20,000 adjusted to inflation, or is that?
It doesn't say. It doesn't say in this article. But
strange. Hold on.
You'd have to assume. You'd have to assume. So
I'll check the online version to see if there's an extended version of this.
But Bill Clinton, he didn't have a dog. He kept a black and white cat.
Oh, he had that dog in him. You know what I'm saying?
Woo! Oh, yeah.
My boy.
Bones?
Yeah, Bones. It's a new part of the show, too.
He had a black and white cat named Socks, who was less than pleased when the family later adopted a chocolate lab named Buddy. Quote, cats tend to go off on their own and don't get trotted out for press briefings. It's not that they don't commit bad behavior. It's that it's often unseen.
This is Bill Clinton said this?
No, this is from some White House spokesperson.
Yeah. It's like you're talking about the cat or yourself, Bill.
Yeah, you sicko.
Yeah. When they do bad things, they make sure to hide it. Cover it up real nice. Wow. Well, let's face it. It sounds like there's some bad, and I don't want to, I don't take any political sides. I'm sort of a neutral guy.
Yeah, we're both Swiss on this podcast.
Yeah, we go Swiss for this.
Yeah.
But a lot of Democrat presidents with problem dogs. You got FDR. I guess they had Dwight. He was a Republican.
Yeah.
And Teddy, Republican, although back in those days, Republican meant something else.
The parties, they kind of switched.
They did the big switch.
The big switch.
Couple small switches, but then the big switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder what the Whig Party, any of their dogs, how they behaved. But we'd have to consult the history books for that.
The Whig Party's still around. It's just not really. It's not a political party anymore. Mac Miller was in it. And a few other people. We can cut that part out of the podcast. Anyway.
I just understood. I just got that.
You just got it?
Yeah.
Speaking of concerts.
We don't have to cut that out.
Yeah. Speaking of concerts and music, a little nice transition there. This is from the Wall Street Journal, Trent.
Sure.
Quote, headline, when did rock concerts become tame? You can thank alcohol-free Gen Z.
Really? Are the kids not drinking?
Kids don't drink. Conspicuous teetotaling. What is teetotaling?
Teetotaling means you're sober.
Yeah, conspicuous teetotaling is now prevalent in hot acts, confounding older partiers.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You didn't know about this?
No, I guess I'm kind of ahead of the curve. I'm a trendsetter.
You are. You're a bit of a teetotaler yourself.
Aye.
So this may resonate with you. We may have different opinions on how this shakes up, but that's okay as long as we come to some kind of consensus in the end, because this is an echo chamber. Now, this is Dateline San Francisco, rock capital of the world.
Well, that's not how I've referred to it, but I don't feel comfortable saying what I refer to it as.
Yeah. Let's just say, sort of a Freddie Mercury rock act there. San Francisco, pop star Conan Gray, who I've never heard of him. Never heard of him. I don't know anybody pop stars anymore. They're all fucking dorks. Conan Gray stopped midway through a performance here recently to make sure somebody tended to a fan who appeared to have been partying too hard.
Oh.
Quote, "See, this is why you all should really be sober," said the 24-year-old. The 24-year-old tisk to the crowd of fellow Gen Zers who ... cheered. And then the show went on at San Francisco's Outside Lands, 3-day annual music festival in Golden Gate Park, once associated with revelers urinating in neighbors' yards. Rock and pop concerts are a far cry from the days when boozed-up Jim Morrison was accused of exposing himself at a Doors gig in Miami, or when drunken fans rioted at Woodstock 99 festival that tried to emulate the original.
Yeah.
Even the rock stars aren't rolling like the wilder rockers of yore.
Right.
Quote, "It's a little passé," said 31-year-old Nate Rathburn, a DJ and record producer.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Partying's a little passé, but being a douchebag is timeless. Having a good time, passé. Better known, DJ turned producer, better known by his stage name, I don't know how to say this, Audien. Audien?
Where's that?
Audien?
Oh, yeah. Better known as Audien.
Better known as Audien.
Yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Say no more, Joe.
I've never felt more out of touch than reading this article.
Yeah.
Quote, at some point, it's as if, do I want longevity or to party till I die? End quote. Music festivals are responding by offering more non-booze beverages. Lollapalooza, Austin City Limits, and Bonnaroo festivals provide non-alcoholic drinks at every bar with names such as Rambler, Waterloo, Liquid Death.
Waterloo.
According to C3 Presents.
That's what I like. I like ABBA.
Waterloo's a Kinks song, right?
Waterloo
I'm
Sunset.
thinking of Waterloo Sunset.
Now there's a rock and roll band.
Party animals.
The Kinks.
I don't think they partied at all.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
But here's the thing. They may not drink and they may not do all this stuff, but it's not because they don't want to. It's because if they do, they'll get in they'll ruin their careers.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the old days,
because everyone's on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, everything is recorded now, and here's the thing: Gen Z. I don't know if it's their fault necessarily, even though they've ruined Applebee's.
Which was their first crime, and now they've ruined concerts.
I don't know if it's necessarily their fault. A lot of it is, it's all adults and everybody. It's all taking the fun out of everything. Everybody who's constantly online and watching everything. It's no fun. You can't have fun anymore. The old rock and roll bands, The Who, they used to fucking trash the hotels and fuck groupies and all this stuff. And you can't do that anymore. You can't do it. They can't have fun.
It looks bad because apparently being a rebel it used to be being a rebel was cool.
Yeah.
And being a sellout meant that you were a loser and a phony.
Yeah.
Now, selling out is equated with, like, making it.
Right. Now, Taylor Swift, the biggest...
Now you want to be liked by everybody. You want to be...
Yeah.
And I think,
she's doing credit card commercials. She needs more money.
Which is insane. It's insane. But, like, even, like, the algorithm and stuff, like, in all these platforms, like, content creation are limiting, like, things you can say and do, and people are putting themselves more and more in this box of being something that is palatable for everybody.
Right.
For their own gain. I think we're maybe going off a little too far on this, but it speaks to a lot of different things happening. But there is something very specific about the alcohol portion itself. Younger people and artists, and I get it more from the artist perspective because we're both stand-up comics.
Yes.
In the days of yore where comics would booze and do drugs, ruined a lot of careers and that kind of... It was... Obviously, people realized that there's no longevity there. If you party that hard on the road, you're going to kill yourself.
Sure.
Unless you're Keith Richards.
Or, I mean...
I get if it's artists seeing, okay, the whole generation of artists before me got destroyed all the time. But if you're just a concert goer, going to a party, going to a concert, unless you're, sober out of your own accord, but my God, it's like... These people say that they are having fun at concerts, but I would argue they don't know what fun is.
I have fun at a concert.
You have fun at a concert, but it's like it's going back to that, to having a wild, rebellious time. It doesn't necessarily have to be about alcohol, but concerts now are tame. I think alcohol factors into this equation, but there's more going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the tame trend confounds more seasoned rockers.
Sure.
Quote, I am an older Gen Xer, and one of my younger Gen Z coworkers told me that they were invited to a weekend house party where they literally had no alcohol at all. So David Slutz, 56, entertainment director for Hotel Congress, a Tucson, Arizona venue, that hosts music acts. This would have been alien to me. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a trend. More people now don't drink.
Sure.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
As someone who is sober yourself,
yes,
perhaps you would have some sort of insight that I don't have.
Well, here, I've always had a deep-seated need to do the exact opposite of anything anybody else is doing.
Well, now you should start drinking.
Yeah, I know. I might have
to. Okay. That's interesting.
Because all my friends, they all drink and they all smoke the
reefer
wacky tobacco.
Yeah.
And I always didn't want to do that just because everybody else was doing it.
Now, it's not like we don't have to get too much into your personal life here. But it's not like a family thing.
No, my family they didn't make a big deal. They didn't make a big deal of it. No, they weren't alcoholics, but they didn't. Right. They weren't teetotalers either.
So you weren't like, okay, I get it. Because I know some people don't drink because it's like either dad or whatever drank too much.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Fair enough. Yeah, there's definitely a trend of drinking is on the way out. It's probably better for the world, but is less exciting at a concert.
It's here's what I think it is, Joe.
Yeah.
People are worried about how they appear in public. People are. It's I
think you're right.
It's all they're worried about getting in trouble for doing the wrong thing.
That's
they're
true.
not in control when
They need to be in control.
Yeah, 3 sheets to the wind. You could be risk losing your job for something.
People. Yeah, in the age of videos and things.
In the age
out there.
of constant surveillance.
People used to just,
You could do...
There'd be people would remember it for a week. Did you see Michael last weekend?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, now...
a little bit of shame, but thank God there was no documentation of what happened.
Exactly.
Swinging off the chandelier with his cock out.
Exactly. But now if you do something crazy, it lives in eternity.
But you know what Mike also was for swinging off the chandelier with his cock out?
A fun guy.
A fucking legend.
A legend.
A fucking legend.
Exactly.
It's not a single legend.
There will be no more legends.
And
it's all going to just be bland bullshit.
Bland people worried about what everybody else thinks. You know what I say? If you're a 22-year-old, go get yourself a fucking 12er of White Claws and swing off a chandelier with your cock out.
Yeah.
Live a little.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Thank you. I knew we'd find a consensus.
Yeah. We always do. This is Echo Chamber with Joe and Trent.
This is where a paid ad comes in.
Paid ad for White Claw.
These are all product-placed ads.
Yeah. Well, we covered the weight loss drug Ozempic, the drug sweeping the nation
last
week.
Yeah.
Well, the U.S. military might want to look into that because this is a headline. This is from the Wall Street Journal. U.S. military weighs response to, quote, skinny fat recruits.
What?
The Pentagon rethinks the measuring tape as the arbiter of a soldier's fitness.
Skinny fat? What does skinny fat mean?
We'll get into that. Twice a year, all members of the U.S. Armed Forces must pass a physical fitness test. When tape measures meet bellies, though, things can get complicated.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. You are correct, sir.
Well, I'm a bit of a skinny fat man myself.
Can fit people have large waist? Are skinny people automatically in shape? Is it okay to suck in the gut? These matters have been prompting considerable navel gazing in the nation's military, along with such questions as where should the tape measure go, and is it the right tool? The Pentagon hasn't been able to conclusively decide where a person's waist is, which presents one problem. The Army says...
Can't tell where her waist is.
The Army says it's soldiers' belly buttons. The Navy says it's at the iliac crest, which makes sense if one has heard of an iliac.
The iliac crest sounds like part of the Bermuda Triangle, like a place where you'd have a warship.
Yeah. Do you know what an iliac is?
Fuck no. No, never heard of that until right now.
Me either.
Also, who cares where it is? Can't you just look at someone and be like, they're in shape? They're not in shape.
Right. But
Here's
also,
a test. Make them do 10 push-ups.
Also, we learn where the waist is in preschool.
Well, but the waist has been on a descending trend for 50 years. My grandpa wore his fucking pants up to above his belly button.
That's true.
Mine are below my belly.
Yeah. I go below the belly.
So the waist comes and goes.
The waist comes and goes. It fluctuates.
For ladies, it's higher.
Yeah. Well, that settles it. No, but
there seems much ado about nothing. It's
all the branches of the military, they all have different guides.
Now, tell me this: where does the Space Force lie on this?
Well, That's the next sentence, actually.
Kidding.
The Air Force and the Space Force says it's between the lowest rib
I'm sorry.
and the top of the hip bone.
I'm sorry, but if you've been a branch of the military for less than 2 years, you don't get to say where the waist is. You don't get to tell me where you think the waist is. I'm not even convinced that you're a real branch of the military.
Yeah. What do they do?
What's your motto? To infinity and beyond?
Buzz Lightyear. I don't know. I don't know if the space... All I know is the Space Force, they made a shitty Netflix show.
Yeah, awful.
Horrendous. The Marine Corps, when measuring female Marines... And we don't have to weigh in on that. Uses an intricate formula.
Female Marine's kind of an oxymoron.
Uses an intricate formula that takes into account the sternum, which even a person without a PhD in physiology knows is closer to the shoulders than to what most people consider to be the waist.
They're calling the waist the sternum?
Apparently, that's what how they measure.
Is that like here?
Yeah, right around here. I think
That's definitely not a waist.
not at all. Well, we're in agreement on that. Quote, there's a whole meeting on this, said Dr. Carl E. Friedel, a senior research analyst for the Army, recalling a 1998 National Institute of Health gathering. The military definition of a waist is a weighty topic. A few extra inches of girth around the midsection can mean a person has to start a remedial exercise program or can even get kicked out for being overweight.
What about this? You just weigh them, and whatever that number is,
You'd think-
is either above or below the standard for your height and size.
Yeah, you would think that would make sense.
What does it matter how-
You have to be able to run a certain amount. You have to pass all these tests,
If
right?
a guy has a belly and can still, do all these physical tests and kill it, then let him keep going.
I agree.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah, like me,
they
I'm in one of the
we
best
need
shapes
to know
of
the
anybody.
soldier's inseam.
I've got a bit of a beer belly, but I'm in the best shape of anyone I know. I'm sort of a buff, jacked, ripped guy.
Yeah, because you played with Dragon Ball Z figures when
Yeah,
you were
exactly.
young. Yeah, I don't know. And skinny fat is one problem in the Army faces these days, according to Friedel, a specialist in physiological performance, is a high number of skinny fat recruits.
That just sounds so insulting.
These people don't look out of shape, but indeed are because of sedentary lifestyles that have left them with low muscle mass and frail bones and connective tissue.
Oh, well, you know about that.
I might qualify as skinny fat, but I wouldn't say I'm sedentary. I walk.
You walk, but I
walk
agree.
this empty road.
But the frail muscles and bones.
Boulevard
Yeah,
of broken
that's-
homes. I'm not. Listen, I'm no strong man. I don't claim
How
to
about
be.
this? You're skinny and I'm fat. And together we're skinny fat.
And that's our new comedy duo.
I'm just kidding. I need to be the fat guy.
It's guys who look good in skinny jeans, but they have high fat because there's no muscle, Friedel said. Further confusing matters is the growing number of women in uniform. For men, a chest-to-waist ratio is a decent determination of body composition, but women carry weight differently than men, according to Friedel.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, so...
This is just like... What, they should just toss out all these definitions and needless things and just make somebody do 12 push-ups and see how out of breath they are at the
Yeah,
end.
I agree.
And as far as the women go, it's news to me that they're allowed to be in the Army. I didn't know that was the thing. I didn't know that. I think it's awesome.
Somebody never watched Cadet Kelly?
I have not. Is that on the Mabry movies must-sees?
That is on the Mabry movie must-sees. We need to hire a producer so we can get a sort of a musical
Mabry movie must-sees.
Cadet Kelly, Disney Channel original feature starring Hilary Duff.
Well, speaking of the military, Trent,
Whoa.
I have kind of a fascinating article. This is from I believe the Wall Street Journal. Headline, Secret Deal, put a real rifle into video game.
Do I not know what a video game is anymore?
What do you mean?
How can a real rifle be in a video game?
Well, it's not a one that you can fire in real life, but it's like an actual model is like... We'll get into it. A top U.S. gun maker signed a previously undisclosed deal to put one of its rifles in the popular video game franchise Call of Duty as part of a marketing plan to reach younger customers, according to internal emails and company records. The document from Remington Arms, which is part of firearms conglomerate Freedom Group, are being disclosed. Freedom Group is so funny. Being disclosed by a lawyer. Great group, love what they do. Being disclosed by a lawyer who obtained them in a lawsuit filed by parents with children killed in 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School. Yeah. Last year they settled with Remington, which made the AR-15 used by the killer for $73 million. The emails and records offer a rare inside look into the gun industry's relationship with video game makers, which has been criticized by advocates on both sides of the Second Amendment debate. So these people
the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment.
The right to bear arms
by a well-regulated militia.
Yeah, which we will be forming soon. With our fan base. The documents from the late 2000s and early 2010s show Remington and Freedom Group officials pursued deals to place their guns in shooter video games as part of a marketing plan push because they were concerned their customer base was aging. You know, the old hunter guys, all that stuff. They need to reach younger people.
Oh.
An undated Freedom Group memo titled Gaming Strategy said, quote, with increased urbanization and access to shooting hunting areas in decline, primary means for young potential shooters come into contact with firearms and ammunition is through virtual gaming scenarios. The records show Remington signed a deal in 2009 with a video game publisher Activision Blizzard to put a new weapon called the Adaptive Combat Rifle, or ACR, in its 2009 release Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Remington officials believe video games were attracting new gun buyers. So there's definitely an uptick of young gun buyers after this. Really? Buying these specific guns, the ARC and the AR-15
and the CCR, the Creed,
the ACR, the CCR. Executives at the company were thrilled after Modern Warfare 2 proved successful, ultimately selling more than 22 million units. Troll wrote to fellow executives in 2010 that a man doing work at his house told him the ACR was gaining a following among devotees of Call of Duty. Quote, the reason the guys love it is because of its low recoil in the game, which allows a player to maintain target acquisition, he wrote.
Oh, good.
Good. I got to get that in real life so I can maintain target acquisition.
Oh, Jesus.
The spokeswoman for Activision, which was acquired by Microsoft Friday for $75 billion, didn't respond to a request for comment. That's hilarious. They just got bought out by Microsoft and the day after this came out. You want to comment on this?
No, thank you.
No. No.
I'd really rather not.
National Rifle Association Executive Vice President Wayne Lapierre said, another made-up name, that year described the video game business as a, quote, callous, corrupt, and corrupting, shallow industry that sells and sows violence against its own people.
That's the NRA guy.
That's the NRA guy. Does it seem like somebody's trying to shift the blame much? A callous. A callous industry. Sowing seeds of violence. Meanwhile, they got their own channel on TV and all this other bullshit, the terrible things they did.
Right.
All the awful things they did.
Yeah.
Investing in
Now, how do you think video games cause people to be violent?
That's a good question. Because it used to be a question that I honestly don't know where I stand on it, because it used to be something that everybody scoffed at and was like, oh, yeah, right, video games cause us to be violent.
Yeah.
But I do think there's
was kind of the same way.
But I think there is something to be said for a disaffected 17-year-old who spends all of his free time shooting people in a video game and thinking about all of his problems at the same time.
Yeah.
Seems like it could be a toxic combination.
I think so as well. Because when we were growing up, there was Call of Duty and there was all these things, but I don't think a majority of people were spending their entire day playing these games.
A majority of people, even if they enjoy the game, are not going to buy a gun and don't have any. It's not. I don't think it's giving people violent urges. I think that it's just, if it's the main form of recreation that somebody who's put out is doing all day long,
right?
And then they get into, they grow out of collecting Beanie Babies and into collecting fucking guns.
Yeah.
You can see how you may not be pulling the trigger, but you're definitely like setting somebody up for something.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know. In their suit,
very nuanced.
Very nuanced. And again, this is probably the heaviest kind of article that we get into in this podcast.
Yeah.
In their suit, Sandy Hook parents argued that Remington's marketing through video gamers appealed to insecure loners bent on mass slaughter. I agree with the first part. I don't know about bent on mass slaughter. I think that's more something that somebody gets driven to.
Yeah.
Rather than somebody, I'm hell bent on mass slaughter. What video game will I buy? Not Kirby.
I beat Sonic.
Yeah. And here's just the last couple tidbits from this. Jewell said in the interview that Remington executives didn't anticipate how their weapons would be used in online games where players shoot each other. Quote, the concept of online lobbies where players engage in others in, quote, team death matches was unfamiliar, Jewell said. I believe that if anyone had known that when we... I believe that if anyone had known then what we know now about how these games evolved, the decisions would have been different. I'm sorry, but what did you think you were signing up for when you put your guns in a game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare?
With your plan, which was clearly to sell more guns.
Yeah, and hope that it becomes really popular and that people buy more guns. Yeah. We never knew that they were going to shoot each other.
We thought they just hang them up on their wall.
No, I didn't do my home. I didn't, know that Call of Duty was a shoot 'em up game. If I knew it was a shoot 'em up game,
I didn't know what's this Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Had I known that there were going to be something called Deathmatch, I just thought it was a game where you buy our guns and you go out and you shoot them, and if someone gets in the way, so be it.
Well, Joe, I mean, it's a far cry from Duck Hunt.
It is a far cry from Duck Hunt.
With a laughing dog.
But see, when we were like young, the old Republican Guard or whatever, or no, not Republican Guard, but whatever guard of whatever, people back then that would say would blame video games. Yeah. That's when it was laughable, when they were like, oh, look at this Duck Hunt and Super Mario are making kids violent.
Right, Dr. Mario's, we turn them into pill poppers.
Right. And then it goes, video games aren't making people more violent. You're fucking crazy.
Yeah, right.
But now they got Ultimate Deathmatch.
They got Ultimate Deathmatch, and you can see somebody's skull go through the back of their head.
And you get to name them your friend, the guy from high school you don't like.
Yeah. You can create a guy that looks exactly like your bully from high school. Yeah.
Well, it just brain.
So maybe they're onto something.
Maybe it's gone too far.
Perhaps it's gone too far. Speaking of something going perhaps too far. This is from the Wall Street Journal headline. Okay. American consumers just keep on spending.
I love it, baby. Keep the cash rolling.
Consumers should be spending less by now.
What does that even mean?
Well, interest rates are up. Inflation remains high. Pandemic savings have shrunk. And the labor market is cooling. Yet, household spending, the primary driver of the nation's economic growth, remains robust. U.S. consumers spent 5.8% more in August than a year earlier.
Wow.
While outstripping less than 4% inflation. And the experience economy boomed this summer, with Delta Airlines reporting record revenue in the second quarter, and Ticketmaster selling over 295 million event tickets in the first 6 months of 2023, up nearly 18% year over year.
Well, the people want to get back out.
The people want to get back out.
They want to have
fun. They want to have concerts, and they want to remain sober.
Be cautious of how they might be perceived online.
Yes. Economists and financial advisors said consumers putting short-term needs and goals above long-term ones is normal. Still, this moment is different, they said.
Oh, strange.
A tough housing market has more consumers writing off something for which they would historically save, while the pandemic showed the instability of any long-term plans related to health, work, or day-to-day life. So they are spending on once-in-a-lifetime experiences because they worry
life is short.
They might not be able to do them later.
Jesus, that's scripted.
The classic, fuck it all now.
Well, I think a lot of us can relate. When it's impossible to ever buy a home, it's becoming way more impossible to buy a car than it ever was.
Right.
It's impossible to save up for retirement.
Right.
you might as well say, fuck it. I'm going to spend $9,000 on a Taylor Swift concert.
Exactly.
Because $9,000 isn't going to give me a piece of a car. It's not going to give me a fucking slice of a house.
No.
So what am I holding on to this money for?
Right.
Inflation skyrocketing.
Might as well light it all on fucking fire.
Yeah, it's going to be
Burn
worthless.
the whole fucking place down. It's hard to be excited for the future when every news story we don't cover is the most grim thing you could possibly imagine.
These are the brightest stories that there are. We pick out the funnest stories, and they're still about Sandy Hook sometimes.
Ibi Hussein, who works in marketing for a financial
no relation to Sodom.
A financial communications firm, bullshit job, said the Brooklyn, New York apartment he and his fiance rent for $3,000 a month would cost $1 million to buy.
Yep.
At current rates, that means around $5,000 a month after a $200,000 down payment, not including property taxes. And it's not even that nice of an apartment.
It's a shithole.
So instead of saving for a down payment like he expected to after turning 30 and getting engaged in the past year, he splurged. First, he bought a $1,600 Taylor Swift Eras Tour ticket.
Yep.
And then he spent $3,500 on a bachelor party trip to Ibiza, Spain. Quote, I might as well just enjoy what I have now, he said.
Wow. This is fascinating, actually, because it's like, it's a huge win for the powers that be, right? Because they don't want us to buy houses anymore. They don't want us to buy anything. They want a rent economy,
right?
Where these people can just keep all the things they already own.
Yeah.
And then it's even more of a win for the powers that be that if you're going to spend way more of your money, you would have saved up on that stuff, on some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Now you're just pumping a ton of cash in the economy, and the people who own everything get to continue owning everything.
Exactly.
And we're going to flush all of our money down the fucking toilet. And we're going to rent till we die.
Yep.
But at least we got to see.
Well, BlackRock. Do you know BlackRock, Joe?
Well, I've heard of Elvis Presley and what it did, but I didn't know we could call it that.
Yeah. Well, let's look into it. Anyway.
Fair enough.
No, it's an investment company. They're buying up all these houses and stuff in neighborhoods. Yeah. So you can't own anything.
Yeah.
They don't want you and don't get me started on DVDs.
But you could always frame your ticket for the Eras concert.
Well, no, you can't because it's all digital. You'd have to frame your phone.
Yeah. That's an interesting idea. Frame your phone.
So anyway, Lindsay and Daryl Bradshaw went into credit card debt to finance a Maui vacation this past spring. The couple booked the trip a few weeks after Lindsay, 37, quit her job to be a full-time caregiver to their 8-year-old son who has special needs. Good. Why save for his future?
Yeah, Jesus. Credit card debt for a vacation.
We did not have the money. And we were like, let's just go anyway, said Daryl Bradshaw, a 39-year-old general contractor in Seattle. The trip cost about $10,000, including $3,000 last-minute plane tickets.
Jesus Christ.
Why plan? Why plan for anything? 10 nights at a $385 a night 4-star resort and several elaborate meals. These people are idiots.
Yeah, they are idiots.
They have a kid.
Why don't you just do a weekend getaway?
Right. I can also understand if you don't have a kid and you're doing this, who gives a fuck?
I can understand it even if you have a kid, but just this is insane. You're going way too hard for
it's idiotic.
Money you don't have.
Yeah. But even though the family, so they did all this, and they say even though they decided to cancel subscriptions and cut back on dining out to help offset the bill, they said they have no regrets. So they'll save about $9 a month.
Canceling subscriptions. Yeah. You spend $10,000 on 10 nights.
Save about
$1,000 a day.
$300 a year.
By the end of your life, it'll be paid off.
They say they have no regrets, especially since they got...
and now they have nothing to watch.
They got
canceling subscriptions sucks.
It's idiotic. So they have no regrets, though, since they got to see Lahaina just a few months before it was decimated by wildfires.
God! They're going, oh, honey, we may be $10,000 in debt, but at least we got to see Lahaina before it was decimated.
Before it turned to hellfire and brimstone. At least we don't have any money anymore. But at least Lahaina's gone forever.
Oh, son. Son, yeah, we can't afford to send you to school, but you should have seen Lahaina. You should have seen Lahaina.
Josh Rickner said he greatly lowered his retirement contribution to afford a trip that included a $7,000 Alaskan cruise so his family could see the ice caps, which have been melting. I've never spent that much on a trip before. Said the 35-year-old, adding that the pandemic and a health scare also motivated the splurge. Quote, I just hit a point where the thing that we had been talking about maybe hopefully doing someday, we're going to do it now, he said.
The story is unbelievable. John stopped paying for his cancer treatment so he could take his family to see the last white rhino.
Get it in now.
Get it in now. It's all going away. The ice caps, the rhinos,
but
Lahaina.
It does make sense in a way to be like, what are you saving for? It's all going to hell.
But it's like when I'm looking at the last ice cap before it melts and there's a 10,000 fucking hole I burned in my pocket.
Yeah.
I can't really enjoy the ice cap that's also on the way out.
Yeah.
It's sad from two angles.
Yeah, you're right.
It's sad to see even if you could afford it. It's heartbreaking. And then you think, oh, I spent all my money in my retirement plan to get here to see the saddest thing in the world.
Yeah.
When you should be putting all this money to build your bunker.
Yeah, that is true.
Build the bunker. Don't go see the ice cap. Fucking Google the ice cap.
But also, I thought maybe like you might want to be a prepper, a doomsday prepper. But in the end, I think I would just die.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. I don't want to. It doesn't sound like a fun. But it's barely fun now.
I think I would instead of having. Yeah.
I don't think it would get better.
No. What's worth hanging on to?
Yeah.
When people are already offing themselves, why put yourself in a bunker? I don't think I would do a bunker. I think I would maybe do a submarine and maybe go down there and try to see the Titanic. And be a little laissez-faire about the regulations. I want to implode myself.
Yeah. Rather than funnel all their spare change into a house or retirement account, Candace and Jasmine Kelly started a bucket list fund after attending back-to-back funerals.
God. The couple. I love how all these trips are just underscored by tragedy.
Yeah. The couple adds they can see the writing on the wall, the Grim Reapers knocking. Why save? Why spend? The couple adds a few $100s from their paychecks each month into the fund, which they have used to try fancy restaurant tasting menus and buy Jasmine her dream designer handbag.
Dream designer handbag?
Yeah, chicks, they like bags.
They like bags. You know what this sounds like? This trend sounds like it turns into heroin. It sounds like you just use the money on heroin.
It's just fuck it all.
Yeah.
Live it up. Instead of waiting to have fun when they retire, Candace, a 26-year-old management analyst in Charlotte, North Carolina, said the couple is trying to do the opposite. They want to enjoy their money while young, even if it means working longer.
Yeah, and then begging for money when
quote. Yeah, 65. They're out on the street in Charlotte. Quote,
Lahaina, fire and brimstone.
Quote, all the rules that exist around money and lifestyle are just things people made up. So we're playing a different game, and honestly, I think we're having more fun, said Candace.
They made them up for no reason at all. It wasn't based on any principles or concepts.
Yeah.
It was just arbitrarily made up.
Right, exactly. Well, that's the thing is, like, I don't want to shit on young people, but they have no interest in anything that happened before their time. The old phrase, Joe, those who don't learn from history are doomed.
Well, they
to
clearly have
repeat
an
it.
interest in the ice caps and Lahaina, things that are on the way out.
Yeah, sure. And dream designer handbags.
Yeah, which we probably won't be able to find the raw materials for anyway.
Yeah. Once
so
all the cows die.
It would have been nice after two kind of crushing articles to have a nice little cartoon
pick me
or
up
something,
or
a little
something,
pick me
yeah.
up or something. But unfortunately, no, that's it. So,
Well,
but truly, if this was your first time listening,
yeah.
the last couple articles seemed a little bit grim. It's not usually that grim.
We try to end on a pick
Positive
me up,
note.
positive note.
And I think that even though everything we just said sounded negative, I think if from a different perspective, we could go back through the articles that we just talked about and see that the world is actually trending in a very positive direction, Trent.
You think so? How about you try that?
I will, if I can remember the first article that I read.
Well, we did talk about naughty dogs.
Naughty dogs.
At least the dog. I don't know. I don't know how to.
Hey, naughty dogs are not. Dogs are fun.
Dogs are man's best friend.
Dogs are man's best friend.
Unless they try to bite you.
And even then,
I'm sure it didn't hurt
the trend continues of dogs in the White House. Okay, what did I talk about? What was my first article?
Well, you mentioned something about video games. Oh,
That was the last one.
I don't know.
I've got no idea. Yeah, I threw it away. Well, I'm sure that you could look on
There's
the
really
bright side of it.
no.
All right, well, maybe maybe it doesn't work, but tune back in next week. We're gonna have a hot episode for it.
No, but this comes out. We're sorry. This is depressing. This episode is depressing. It comes out on Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you guys next week. We'll see you guys next week. And thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.